But what about the temple of our soul, our body? Do we give time to our body? Updation of legislation and the legal framework is the need of the hour. Cybercrime is the largest global crime syndicate in the whole world.
This is the CSR Journal presents India Unplugged Leaders in Action. मैं हूं मदीहा खान और आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसी शख्सियत है जो ना सिर्फ हमारी लाइफ्स को सेफगार्ड करते हैं बल्कि he also has an inclination towards having a holistic well-being for himself. कौन है ये हम जरूर एक्सप्लोर करेंगे. Please welcome IPS and Special Inspector General of Police from Maharashtra Cyber Department, Mr. Yashaswi Yadav.
Thank you
Welcome
very much.
to India Unplugged.
Thank you.
We are talking about digitization. हर सेंटेंस में वो इतना आम खास इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. आज इंडिया में 700 मिलियन प्लस स्मार्टफोन यूजर्स हैं. तो इस टाइम में साइबर सिक्योरिटी हम सबके लिए कितनी ज़रूरी हो गई है?
Cyber security is of very vital importance in India. A smartphone is like a powerful computer on the palm of a person. But unfortunately, the proliferation of smartphone has been much more than the dissemination of cyber awareness. So we have people or we have gullible victims of cybercrime who are not very well aware of the precautions they need to observe while using the powerful computer in their palms.
Talking about you, you have done your graduation in computer science, your engineering from IIT Roorkee, your MBA from Indian Institute of Foreign Affairs, that is New Delhi. You've done a special course in cybersecurity from University of Cambridge. You have patents in your name. You have trained IAS and IPS officers across Missouri and Hyderabad. ये जो passion और ये जो penchant for knowledge है, इसका जो सबसे seed inspiration आपकी life में कहाँ से आया?
See, this is a very specialized field. As far as education goes, you know, everybody aspires to do the best possible education. And I was fortunate enough to go to one of the best colleges of India. That was luck as well as hard work at that point of time. But I'm very happy that I'm able to utilize those grains of knowledge in my professional life as a cybercrime head of Maharashtra. So it is very, very important that we use these knowledge bases to enrich ourselves, make ourselves better in whatever we are doing.
In today's time, artificial intelligence is a word that everybody is using. In fact, a report by World Economic Forum says that a lot more jobs are going to come into the field of artificial intelligence, be it driverless driving cars, and in these scenarios. So as we are having a technological advancement, उसके साथ साथ cyber vulnerability भी बढ़ जाती है हर एक person की. So how do you think, should we have inclusions? Should we have amendments?
Now, any new technology comes, there is sometimes a resistance to change. And there are apprehensions, there are susceptibilities, you know. For instance, when mobiles were coming in Indian market, there were a lot of apprehensions that they'll take away jobs, they'll spoil the life of children, or they'll bring unwanted content into the Indian homes. But you know, new technology also gives new opportunities. As you have said, artificial intelligence would create new jobs. It will make old jobs obsolete. So these things are continuous, and we should welcome new technology which can be modified and which can be tailor-made for our advantages. So artificial intelligence is a good thing, but along with it comes a lot of things like Internet of Things, where you have driverless cars, automated homes, and a lot of other things. Now, even if a small portion of this is hacked, a person's entire life, his privacy, his concerns can be made, you know, fall in the hands of a cyber criminal. So right now I can say that cybercrime is the largest global crime syndicate in the whole world. It has overtaken narco trafficking, drug trafficking, counterfeiting, etc. Second important point that you raised in your question is the legislation. Now, in India, the cybercrime legal framework is governed by an act called Information Technology Act. Unfortunately, that act was amended last in 2008. So now imagine the cybercrime scenario in 2008. Almost everything has changed. We had not heard of words like ransomware, sextortion, data theft, data vulnerabilities, zero-day vulnerabilities, social engineering or social media slanderous campaigns. We had never heard of all these things in the past in 2008. So as you said, updation of legislation and the legal framework is the need of the hour.
You spoke about, looking at things in a holistic manner. Looking at your life also in a very holistic manner, you have a black belt in Taekwondo, if I'm not mistaken. You are an international squash player. You also enjoy playing tennis. So this inclination towards physical activities, A, where does it come from? And B, how much of Indian sports do you follow?
See, I have been a sports lover from the beginning only, and that's what, gave me the inclination to play few of the sports. Fortunately, I was a little better off playing squash and taekwondo. So taekwondo is not just black belt, it's black belt Dan 5, which is like awarded to about 1,000 people in the world till now. And I would urge all Indians, not just Indian, all citizens of the world, all global citizens, to at least devote 1.5 hours a day to their physical regimen. Because, even when we buy an automobile or a car, we give it for servicing or we maintain it. But what about the temple of our soul, our body? Do we give time to our body for recharging itself, repairing itself, giving it the right kind of nutrition? Do we add water instead of petrol in car? But we definitely take a lot of toxic elements in our bodies. Our bodies are very resilient. Mother Nature has made it very, very resilient. Otherwise, the kind of torture we subject to our bodies, it will be very difficult for any another man-made article to handle it. But fortunately, our bodies are very, very versatile, but we should give them extra care so that we are not only mentally agile, but physically agile and able to achieve our objectives.
To quote unquote you, the war in future is not going to be with bullets. It's going to be with bits and bytes. That's what you have told once. So tell us something about cyber terrorism and the kind of threat it can pose for national security.
See, I can give you another example. A few years back in Cosmos, there's a bank called Cosmos Bank in Pune. 100 crore rupees were siphoned off by just hacking onto their system in just a matter of 1 or 2 days, and they were withdrawn from 28 countries' ATMs. So that's how the new bank robberies or dacoities are happening. Now the second threat that all intelligence agencies all over the world are having, when cybercrime transforms itself into cyber terrorism. For example, if you go to darknet, there's a lot of chatter of how to hack railway signaling systems, and the two trains can be made to collide. So you don't need bombs and bullets, just bits and bytes, and it would lead to one of the biggest terrorist attacks. Similarly, how water purification systems can be hacked and chlorine can be increased by 0.3%, and the whole water of a city can be rendered poison. So these are not my sci-fi or imagination. These are all happened in the past. For example, in Japan, chemical attacks have happened through computer control systems. So this is not a work of imagination or figment of imagination. It is actually things happening and things being discussed on darknet or such so-called anonymous forums. But I must tell you, the beauty about internet is that once you have committed an illegal act, the digital footprints always remain there. They never get obliterated. So I always say, internet never forgets, internet never forgives.
You are an IPS officer, your wife is an IAS officer, and both of these jobs can be so consuming. आप दोनों अपना work life balance कैसे maintain करते हैं?
See, I always say middle of the road is the best path. a balanced life is the best path. I can say that almost all jobs in present world can be consuming and stressful. One should know how to handle this, and the best way is to balance most of the vital elements of your job, personal life, home life. Now my children are also growing up, so they also require time. So it's only a question of, finding a scientific balance.
Talking about your children, there are two such accomplished people in the house. How do you foresee the future of your children, or how do they foresee their future? What are their inclinations toward?
I can only say that kids are very smart these days.
Yes.
So best parenting is to let them be. They'll find a very good vantage point of their life, and advise them whatever they want to know, or what they value, or what they cherish. So I really want to give them good value system, and the career and other choices, I leave it to them.
You are so good with sports and you have such an inclination. If you weren't an IPS officer, do you think there's another passion that would have consumed you?
I'm not sure about that, because I have been to the so-called best career opportunities available while I was growing up. I was an engineer, then I did MBA, so I got 7 global job offers while doing those things. And then I was also passionate about teaching young children, so I did, whenever I could teach young children, it was like almost divine experience for me, because giving them knowledge, giving them skill set, and giving them happiness by that was a very great experience for me. So maybe either I would have been in corporate sector, or maybe I would have been in education sector.
Thank you so much for giving so much of time to the CSR journal, and also for giving so much of information जो आज की तारीख में हम सबके लिए बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है. So once again, thank you so much.
All pleasure is mine, and thank you to you, Madiha, as well as CSR team for having me here. It's a proud privilege for me. Thank you.